Well, it is safe to say that adventurer Mark Synnott never met a mountain he did not like. He's chronicled many of his climbs in best-selling books and on National Geographic television. Well, Danny got to chat with Mark about his upcoming talk, part of the National Geographic Live series at the Newman Center. Check it out.
Well, Mark, we know you're a climber, so of course, in honor of having you here on the show today, I decided to get outside. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's an honor. I wish I was in Colorado right now instead of New Hampshire.
Can you share more about what got you interested in working with National Geographic in particular?
When I graduated from college, I was so idealistic and I was so passionate about climbing that I really thought that I could avoid having a career. And I didn't want to have a career. All I wanted to do was climb and go on adventures. I was really lucky that my parents forced me to go to the Career Counseling Center where I went to college, and that led me into an internship at Climbing Magazine, which back then was based in Carbondale, Colorado. And so I worked for a season for Climbing Magazine, and I published my first article. And that's when I realized, I had no idea before that you could actually make money writing about things that you love. And so I started doing more and more for Climbing Magazine. But at a certain point, you know, when I stepped back and I looked at the lay of the land, I realized that the premier magazine, MySpace, you know, which is the outdoors and geography and the world and adventure, was National Geographic. And so I just kind of made it my mission. I think I laid that out as a goal for myself in 1993. I did my first trip with them in 1998, but I published a photo or two, but I didn't get my own byline in the magazine until 2012. So you could say that it was almost like a 20-year process. And I actually would say that maybe I gave up, you know, before it finally came through, sort of like when you're trying too hard to get a girlfriend and then you finally just give up and then something great falls into your lap. It was almost like that. I feel like I gave up and then it finally came through. 2012, I got my first feature assignment for the magazine, and I've just been cranking away ever since. My 9th article is coming out in the I think it's the August issue, and it's a cover story about an expedition I did in the Northwest Passage up in Arctic Canada. It was a sailing voyage.
Wow, that is so cool. I mean, we can't wait to read that and to read more about what you do and all of this incredible stuff, and obviously to hear you speak. Before I let you go, Mark, do you have a favorite climb here in Colorado? I know that there are people at home that are like so excited to be able to come see you speak and hear, you know, what kind of gets you ticking in the morning. So do you have a favorite in Colorado?
Yeah, so, I mean, one thing, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I lived in Colorado for a long time. I lived in Leadville, I lived in Carbondale, and then I lived for the longest time in Fort Collins. And I thought that I would settle down in Colorado long term. Somehow I got sucked back to New Hampshire. So I did a lot of climbing there. It's really hard to say what my favorite place was, but when I look back on those years, the spot that I was most passionate about was the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. And I used to drive from the Front Range down to the Black Canyon every weekend, and I'd get out of work on Friday, I'd drive to the Black Canyon, climb all weekend and come back. But I also did tons of climbing in El Dorado Canyon and up in Rocky Mountain National Park and in Fort Collins at Horsetooth Reservoir. So you guys are all pretty lucky to live where you do. Sometimes I kind of wonder, you know, between your skiing and your climbing and all your outdoor stuff, that I sometimes I wonder, like, what happened? Like, how did I end up in New Hampshire? But part of the reason why I'm looking forward to coming back, you know, and visiting and telling some stories there, and hopefully seeing some of my old friends.
Definitely. Well, I know all of us are more than happy and super excited to welcome you back with open arms. So, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time today, and we're looking forward to hearing you speak when you come back out.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and look forward to seeing some folks there at the Newman Center.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, you can experience Mark Synnott's Talk Life on the Vertical May 15th at the Newman Center. It's part of the National Geographic Live series. Tickets are available at newmancenterpresents.com, or you can call the box office at 303-871-7720.